Juan Mendez Scott's Mystery Magazine.
A Sizzling Affair. Chapter 1. The Heat Building Between Us. My name is Genevieve Allen, but most people call me Ginny or Gin. It's a familiar name, easy to say, but it holds no weight against what I'm about to tell you. This is the story of how I went about murdering my husband. It was a Friday evening like any other. The kind of day where the sun lingers just a bit longer, as if refusing to give way to the night. I'd finished up at my job at the Naval Surface Warfare Center, where I worked as an administrative technical specialist, a GS-13 making 6 figures. It was a good job, but it wasn't enough. I craved more. Life felt too short to settle for anything less than everything. Driving down Indian Head Highway in my red Mercedes-Benz C-Class coupe, I couldn't help but notice how vibrant everything seemed. The sun was warm on my skin, and the sky stretched out in a clear, endless blue. Cars filled the roads, people moving in every direction, as if the world was alive with energy. My thoughts were fixed on one place, the Motel 8 on Indian Head, where Mickey was waiting. I always parked right in front of our room, making sure my car was the first thing anyone would see. The gravel crunched under my heels as I stepped out, the warm breeze brushing against my saffron skin. I could still feel the sun's heat radiating off the pavement as I slid the keycard into the lock. The door clicked open and I stepped inside, the familiar scent of him mingling with the cool air-conditioned room. Inside, the blinds were drawn tight, shutting out the bright day. The room was bathed in a muted light, the kind that makes you forget what time of day it is. ESPN played softly on the TV, barely audible, a quiet hum in the background. On the small table by the window, 2 wine glasses stood next to a large bag of elevation burgers and a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon chilled in a bucket of ice. As I kicked off my Rosalind Bell pumps, the cool carpet cushioned my feet. I glanced around, hoping he was asleep. Nothing thrilled me more than surprising him. But as I walked further into the room, the shadows shifting around me, I saw him. Mickey was wide awake, lying back with a knowing smile on his face, his eyes tracking my every move. His erection was unmistakable, tenting the sheets, a silent invitation that made my pulse quicken. My red Evan Picone sleeveless dress slid off like a second skin as I made my way to the bed. Mickey, Miguel Faulkner, was 30, just like me. A man who had left his wife for the promise of a future with me. He was a handsome man, his chocolate skin smooth and inviting, with warm brown eyes that always seemed to see right through me. His wavy black hair was freshly cut, a sharp contrast to the softness of his small goatee. Dressed in a Gucci t-shirt and jeans, he exuded a casual confidence that always left me breathless. He owned a car detailing business in Fort Washington, pulling in about $90,000 a year, and it suited him. He was a man who knew how to take care of things, his business, his car, and me. He'd been waiting for me to leave my husband, Gary, so we could finally be together. His wife, Tammy, had shown her true colors after striking it rich with her medical marijuana dispensary. Once she didn't need him anymore, she let him go without a second thought. So, he left her, just as he'd left everything else behind for me. Mickey rested on the bed, his arms folded behind his head, his gaze never leaving mine. "So, how was your day?" he asked, his voice smooth like honey. I paused for a moment, letting the dress pool around my ankles, feeling the heat between us intensify. "I had a pretty good day at work today," I said, crawling into bed beside him. "Nowadays, I'm finished with my assignments by lunchtime." We kissed, and his lips were as soft as I remembered, tasting faintly of the wine he'd probably sampled before I arrived. "Have you given it any more thought?" he asked, his fingers threading through my hair. "About what?" I replied, even though I knew exactly what he meant. "Your marriage," he said, his tone growing more serious. I shrugged, trying to appear casual. Like I told you before, it's been over with as far as I'm concerned. So, he's decided to give you the divorce? Well, no, I admitted, my voice light. I haven't told him I'm divorcing him yet. He sighed, frustration edging into his words. I can't wait until we can just be together and not have to worry about spouses and divorce. Just us. I ran my fingers along his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath his shirt. You know I can't wait. It's going to be soon, trust me. Mickey smiled up at the ceiling as if he could see the life we'd build together in the patterns of the plaster. I saw a little house not far from here in Akakik. It would be perfect for us. I joined him in looking at the ceiling, imagining the house he described, a future that felt almost within reach. I can't wait to see it.
On the next episode of Juan Mendez Scott's Mystery Magazine, Chapter 2, The Thought of Murder.